Alright, guys. I just had to record this. This is evidentiary. Um, are you guys ready for this channel drama? The first ever Aim Train 360 channel drama. It's getting uploaded today. A little bit of backstory. So I was playing with this guy, Atwoods. And, he's not the best at Rust. And, I try to be okay with it, right? Because he's like a somewhat decent guy, or at least I thought so. That perspective kind of changed after a couple of things that he said. But anyways, though, prior to this, he's like a somewhat decent guy, right? Um, we don't really share the same sense of humor, but among other things, it's he's terrible at Rust, and he's okay with being terrible at Rust, and that's really what irks me because Rust is a highly competitive open world looter shooter, and he wants to hop on and play Rust. And then he's like, I don't take this game seriously. And then he gets, led around like a dog and like consumes team resources and doesn't pull his own weight. Nobody likes that in gaming. Nobody likes it when your teammate cannot pull their own weight. Nobody wants to play with somebody that can't pull their own weight. If you disagree, you probably play like Stardew Valley or something. I'm just keeping it honest. It might be a little rude, it might be rude. I understand. They're still human beings and all that stuff. But nobody wants to play with somebody in a competitive shooter that can't pull their own weight. That's just not the reality of things in competitive video games. And I feel like everybody that plays competitive games competitively can agree with that. Anyways, here's the scenario. We're at Ferry Terminal. We just spawned in like 10 minutes ago. We ran the road for a couple minutes, and then we went to Ferry Terminal to go get green and blue. And mind you, he's already been doing dumb shit. I forgot it. I forgot it by now, but I remember that he was doing dumb shit. Right? This guy's not good at the game. Right? So obviously he was doing dumb shit. Anyways, though, so this guy, he asked me some question, and he's already been doing dumb shit. So little things stack up into a big thing. Right? I feel like that's how everybody works. Little things stack up into a big thing. I'm at Recycler. I go to run over to Green Room, and he goes, "Hey, do you have any food?" And keep in mind, we just spawned 10 minutes ago. This man hasn't seen me touch a food crate. And I go, "No." That's how I respond. "Hey, do you have any food?" "No." That word for word, tone for tone. One word. "No." That's how I respond. And this is what happens after. He goes, "What's your problem? Are you trying to piss me off?" Unironically, he says that. He said that to me unironically. "What's your problem? Are you trying to piss me off?" After I gave him one word as a response to a dumbass question because we just spawned in 10 minutes ago. And this is what happens after that. So I leave the call, right? Because I'm just like, okay, bro, you're tripping. Anyways, though, he texts me back. He hits me up, texts me back, goes, "The fuck is your problem?" Okay, hold on. I don't want to spoil it. He goes, "The fuck is your problem? Just being rude since we started playing. Like, the fuck did I do to you? You asked me if I had food. I said no, and you said, 'The fuck is your problem? Are you trying to piss me off?' So I left because that's bullshit. And now you're doing this. Bro, act like an adult, bro. What the hell is that? I need to act like an adult? Dude, you asked me if I had food. I said no, and you said, 'The fuck is your problem? Are you trying to piss me off?' Like, what? You weren't even joking. You've been mad passive aggressive the whole time, and when I call you on it, I'm being childish? Bro, so that's an excuse. The gaslighting is wicked." Gaslighting? Nah, you're just being a dick, acting like you aren't. Gaslighting? What? Literally what you just said. You're being rude the whole time. What? Bro. Acting like when I asked you, you just said no. Like, nah, the fuck you didn't. Give me an actual example. You said it rude as fuck, and now you're acting like you just said no. What? Okay, but you admit that all I said was no, though. It's not like, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. When I didn't see the base before, you were rude. When I didn't call out, you're like, "I need a direction." Or when I did any call out, you're like, "I need a direction." Rude AF with that too. When I left the recycler, you were rude. You never talked to Tariq like that, just me. A little bit of jealousy showing here, I think. It's weird as fuck. The minute I push back, you leave. Like, what? You are clearly in a bad mood, but at least have the balls to acknowledge it. Okay, Let's dissect this first. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. I agree. You asked me a dumbass question. I gave you an answer like you were a dumbass. I totally did that. I agree. Let's see here. When I didn't see the base before, you were rude. Okay, here's what he's talking about. We were running up a hill, and at the peak of the hill, it was the middle of the night. And keep in mind, 30 seconds ago, I was just telling this guy, "Hey, bro, you should put these NVIDIA settings on, yada yada, whatever," uh, because it was nighttime, right? 30 seconds ago, he was going, "Nah, man, I already have settings on my monitor. I can see really good at night with my monitor." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So we go up this hill, and this base is getting built like not like far away. It's not like we're playing fucking competitive Eagle Eye here. No, this base is getting built like 50 feet in front of us, not 50 meters, 50 feet at the peak of a hill, right? And it's nighttime. So the base is skylined. The base has gigantic construction smoke puffs coming from it because it's getting built. And we're like 50 feet away. And I shoot an arrow at it, right? To try and tag one of the walls so they can't build the wall. It was too late. They built it while the arrow was flying, or they upgraded it while the arrow was flying. And he goes, "What are you shooting at?" And I'm just flabbergasted because we're running the same. Like I understand that, like okay, honestly, I'm not even gonna try to say I understand. I don't understand. We're both running the same direction. He just told me 30 seconds ago that he had night vision settings on his monitor. The base is literally, no exaggeration, 50 feet in front of us. It might have been closer. It's skylined, and there's big white puffs of smoke coming off of it because Rust doesn't have proper shading for the white puffs of smoke coming off of the building. Anyways, and he asked me what I'm shooting at, and I'm like, the base right in front of us? Because it's like, hey, dumbass. That's me knocking on his skull. Hey, dumbass, the base right in front of us. But of course, I didn't say that. I just went, the base right in front of us. And so that's what he's saying with me being rude. When he just didn't see something that was right in front of him, blatantly skylined with white puffs of smoke after he just told me he had night vision settings on his monitor. You're being a dumbass. I'm giving you an answer like you're a dumbass. Anyways, and then he says, when I did any call out, you're like, I need a direction. First of all, no shit. Who wouldn't need a direction when you do a call out? It's a fucking call out. You should make a proper call out, not just say, "Oh, two guys. Oh, ferry terminal." Like, here's what happened because there was two instances that I can immediately recall where this is true. We were in Sewer Branch and I was recycling, and he went, "Oh, two guys." And I said, "Where?" And he goes, "Oh, there's a duo." And I say, "What direction?" And he goes, "Oh, and then pauses for like 5 seconds. I guess he's trying to find his compass or something. This guy has like 2K hours, by the way. I guess he's trying to find his compass or something. And then he goes 190 or something like that, whatever. The number isn't really relevant right here, but then he gives me the number. And keep in mind, this guy has or at least says that he has 2,000 hours. And he took like 5 seconds to give me a proper call out on the direction. And when I say where, he just goes, "A duo." That's not where. That's what. That's not where. Anyways, though, right? So I hope whoever's listening can understand why that's frustrating, right? Because I mean, this is a grown man who's playing a competitive shooter and claims to have 2,000 hours in the game, and this guy isn't giving me a compass call out. He's just saying, "Oh, there's two guys," like I have ESP or something. Like I'm just gonna know where they are. "Oh yeah, there's two guys." Where? Where? Tell me where they are. What do you mean there's two guys? Where? Are they close? Are they far? Are they 190? Are they 270? Are they 80? Where are they? Right? I feel like I shouldn't have to ask for that. I feel like that's a baseline in competitive shooters, especially when you have 2,000 hours or so he says in the game. I feel like at the very least you should be telling me if they're close or far, how many people they are, and what compass number. Two guys far to 190. Like that's so easy. That's so easy. A 2,000 hour player should know how to do that. I have 2,000 hours. Actually, it's 1,945, I think, give or take. But still, like that is rightfully frustrating, right? And of course, I'm not telling him anything. I'm just going like, where? And then he goes, a duo, and I'm like, what direction? Because then I got frustrated, right? Anyways, and then he said, oh, and then there was another time where we were literally in terminal about to go to recycler. We were by like the U-Haul trucks next to the fuse room, and he goes, "Oh, guy in ferry terminal," and I go, "I need a direction," and he says, "Ferry terminal," and I go, "No, like the number on the compass," because I mean, just wow, right? Like, and this is like 5 minutes after the sewer branch fiasco call out, and I don't even remember if he gave me oh yeah, he didn't even tell me the direction on the compass. He just went, "It's ferry terminal. I told you it's ferry terminal." And I was like, "Okay." I just gave up on it. At least I think that's what happened. Maybe he said that and then told me the number, but I don't remember being told the number, but I do remember him saying something like that. Maybe not verbatim, but along the lines. Anyways, though, so with those two instances, he was like, when I did any call out, you're like, I need a direction. No shit, buddy. It's a call out. Once again, dumbass. We're playing a competitive game. You're going to need to be a little competitive here. Anyways, he says, rude as fuck with that, too. Okay. When I left the recycler, you were rude. We had some comps, and there was like a guy on the roof in ferry terminal on like the jump up right next to the U-Haul trucks. And I said, I'm going to go get him. And he said, okay. And then he left recycler to come with me to go get him, even though it was a naked. We knew it was a naked. I just want to go kill him. He left recycler alone after I said, I'm going to go get him. He leaves recycler full of comps. And I say, did you just leave recycler? Because, I mean, we have 4,000 hours collectively, allegedly. We have 4,000 hours collectively. Why are you leaving recycler when somebody is right on top of recycler? Anyways, so he leaves recycler, and I go, did you leave recycler? And he goes, I grabbed the stuff out of it. And I said, no, you didn't. Because I can hear recycler going. We can both hear recycler going. We're within the audio range of recycler. And keep in mind, he says he has 2,000 hours, and he's not detecting that recycler is going from the recycler noise. For some reason. And the funny thing is, right before we hopped on, he restarted his PC and did a couple audio things, and he was like, yes, my audio's fixed. I can actually hear what's going on in the game. I guess that was a fucking lie. Unless he doesn't know what recycler audio is, which I find hard to believe with 2,000 hours in the game. But anyways, when I left the recycler, you were rude. That's because I questioned him for leaving the recycler when there was a naked on it. And guess what happens? We go back, the recycler's empty. He runs around a corner and gets Ioka'd by the naked that looted the recycler that he left alone. So he set himself up for failure. As a allegedly 2,000-hour player, after the call-out fiasco, after the base fiasco, he set himself up by leaving the recycler alone and got Ioka'd. You never talk to Tariq like that, just me. Tariq has, I believe, 2,500 hours, 500 more than me, and allegedly 500 more than Atwoods. Tariq is an amazing player. He's like the player on the football team that the coach lets do whatever, because he's just so good and delivers all the time. No glaze. Tariq is genuinely a good PvP player. Actually, he's Bosnian. It's pronounced Tariq or something along the lines of that. But we both say Tariq because we're American. But anyways, so Tariq, formerly known as Tariq, is genuinely a good player. He wouldn't have left Recycler. He would have given me competitive quick callouts. He would have seen the base miles before I saw it. Let's see. He would have actually done things that got himself, snowballing a little bit in the prim area. He actually would have done things that were self-sufficient, that carried his own weight and helped the team at the same time. Tariq does more than carry his own weight. He helps the team. I'm not trying to self-glaze here, but me and Tariq, we play alike. Tariq, I will say, is a beast at cargo. I am not good at cargo like Tariq. Tariq will 1v20 on cargo, no problem. He'll do it like 5 times in a weekly wipe. No problem. Like you actually think Tariq is cheating. But no, he's just the GOAT. Atwoods, though, I don't even think he's 5% of Tariq's power. No exaggeration. He might be like 4.5% of Tariq's full power. So you never talk to Tariq like that, just me. Tariq doesn't Tariq isn't a burden to play with. Tariq doesn't act entitled. Tariq actually helps the team out and helps himself. Tariq isn't a liability. Tariq isn't confidently wrong consistently back to back. So that's the explanation to that. I feel like that's with anybody, even siblings, like imagine you live in a house, you're one of 3 siblings, and let's say you're triplets, right? And you're all boys. One of your brothers, he's constantly there for you. He never says something stupid. He never does anything dumb. Whenever you guys play the game together, you're always a team and stuff like that. Like whenever you guys go outside, the conversations are there and everything. And then your other brother, whenever you hang out with that brother, you can't really function as a team on the game. He says stupid shit to you all the time. He acts like an asswipe. He's not like he's like he's like generally sociable kinda, but you can't really have like fluent conversations with him. Like all these things. Like, is he still your brother? Yes. But he's not your favorite brother by a mile. Like let's be real here. Like he's your brother, yes, but he's not your favorite brother. Favorite, right? I'm using favorite pretty exaggeratedly here, but exaggeratedly here, that's not even a word, but you know what I'm trying to say, right? Like you would obviously like if that brother was to make a mistake, you would just be like, ugh, again, because he's constantly making mistakes, right? But if the brother where like they almost always do everything right and they actually try and they're actually like self-sufficient, they actually help out. If they make a mistake, it's like, "Oh, that's fine, whatever." Because they're not constantly making mistakes. Because they're not making a habit of it. Because they're not consistently, confidently doing the wrong thing, right? But the other brother is. So when they make a mistake, it's just like, "Ugh, again." Right? Like it's a burden, it's a problem, it's an annoyance, right? So, it's not really a game of favoritism. It's just a game of like leniency, like Tariq has leniency. Tariq rarely makes a mistake. If Tariq makes a mistake or if he has a bad day or a bad week, it's whatever because I know that that's not Tariq. Atwoods is constantly having a bad session, constantly having a bad day, constantly having a this, constantly having a that. It's there is no leniency on the side of Atwoods because he's constantly doing it. The leniency and patience has ran out. Anyways, though, so that explains this. It's weird AF. I don't think so. If that's how he wants to view it, that's how he can view it. But it is what it is. And then the minute I push back, you leave like what? So this is talking about the original thing. He asked me, "Hey, do you have food?" We've been alive for like 10 minutes. He's never seen me touch a food crate. No. Because it's like, why would I have food? Why, if I had food, I would have eaten it as well because we just spawned. Like, no, I don't have food, except that's not what I said. I just went, no. The minute I push back, you leave. Like, what? Because after he said all that stuff, after I said no, the fuck is your problem? Are you trying to piss me off? I just left. Because that's bullshit. Anyways, though, you are clearly in a bad mood, but at least have the balls to acknowledge it. I feel like this is a bit of projection here. I don't think that I'm in a bad mood. I think that this whole ordeal is funny, so I'm recording it. But and why I'm actually recording it, we'll get into a little bit later. If it was just this, I wouldn't really give a fuck. But anyways, though. So anyways, my response, no. Actually, I'm in a perfectly fine mood. I just didn't feel like dealing with you giving me shit for no reason. Like, you asked a stupid question. And there's not like, a built-up, wall of leniency for that with you in particular, Atwoods. And then so I went, no. and you just flipped out on me. Okay, whatever. I'm gonna leave. No, I'm actually in a perfectly fine mood. Don't act like you've been sunshine and rainbows. Nah, bro. First of all, it's pretty difficult to be sunshine and rainbows when you're playing with somebody that's constantly fucking up and is furthermore okay with fucking up and doesn't do anything to correct themselves or improve themselves or make them not a burden. Like this person doesn't do anything to make it to where they're not a burden, not a hassle to play with. I I I feel so entitled saying things like this, but at the same time, I've been playing with this person for like 3 months or something. I I know how they are. I know how they play. I know what their mental is. I know how their general attitude is towards highly competitive open world looter shooters. I feel like I have enough knowledge on who this person is personally to be able to say these things without being entitled, right? Because if I didn't have that personal knowledge and me saying these things, that would be like assumative, entitled, cocky, assholish. I'm not gonna lie, this is still like assholish, but I know who this person is, so I'm at more of a liberty to say this. But if I didn't know who this person was, then I would have zero liberties to say this. And in my opinion. Anyways, though, don't act like you've been sunshine and rainbows. Kind of difficult when you're constantly fucking up. Nah, bro. Question marks? You're actually tripping. Because he thinks that I'm in a, quote, bad mood just because I left the call and didn't want to deal with this shit, and I need to have, quote, the balls to acknowledge it. Anyways, you're actually tripping. You were rude since I got in the call. I promise I'm not. And that's in reference to tripping. I promise I'm not tripping. I left because you were tripping, then you hop in my DMs after I left the call, still tripping. Because he gave me that shit, left, and then he hit me up in the DMs. That's wild. He doesn't deny it. I guess that's all he could say when I said that, because that is true. And then he says, or I reply to it, you were rude since we got in the call, and I go, since we got in the call? Yeah, that's mega cap. I was in a spectacular mood when I hopped in the call because I was excited to play with somebody that I haven't played with in a fat minute. Oh, it seems he's unblocked me. Anyways, though, I was excited to see someone and play with someone that I haven't seen in a fat minute, and then mistake after mistake after mistake after confident mistake, my mood slowly got whittled down because it was like, why are we doing this? Like, you claim to have 2,000 hours, like you claim to be this, you claim to be that, but then you go, oh no, I don't play this game seriously, even though we're in a highly competitive looter shooter. And I feel like at this point in this person's relationship with me and my relationship with them, it's just my fault for sticking around. The only reason that I actually know this person is because we have a mutual friend, Tariq. Tariq's a great guy. Tariq gets along with everybody. Tariq does not give a shit that Atwoods is not that good at the game. Honestly, Tariq does not give a shit. Tariq's a great guy. He's like perfect. Like, he just got engaged to his girl. Shout out Tariq. He bought her a beautiful ring. Uh, he's a fucking handsome devil too. By the way, I'm not going to show the picture because that's, I don't feel like I'm at liberty to do that. I'm uploading this to the internet. But Tariq's a great guy. He's like literally like, if we're all in the gym and coach picks out two team leaders, and you're about to play basketball in the gym, and you're one of the team leaders that gets to pick, and you get to pick first, you're picking Tariq. All right, 8th grade, get picked as a team lead. You're picking Tariq first every time, and then the enemy team leader goes, I was gonna pick that guy. Like, that's the type of guy we're talking about here, picturesque, if you will. Anyways, though, glaze over. Okay, so I respond to this. You were rude since we got on the call. Since, yeah, let's make it cap. Because I was actually in a good mood, great, like excited to play with him, and then he just wore me down with these confident mistakes. As a quote 2,000 hour player, nah, it ain't. Reference to my mega cap. It is. You're bugging, because he is. Tariq says that shit too, so it ain't just me. You're rude as fuck sometimes. That's in reference to me being rude. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not in the best mood every day. I'm just not. I'm not perfect. Um, you know, everybody has their bad days. Uh, but it's hard to have leniency with someone that's constantly having a bad session. So I won't lie. I have a very low tolerance for Atwoods' crap, I guess you could say. Um, it's just it's difficult. Anyways, though, so he already previously acknowledged that I'm not quote like that with Tariq, and I already did the whole leniency thing. But Tariq says that shit too, so it ain't just me. Uh, okay, probably because Tariq is very extremely abundantly lenient. I don't want to. Tariq is okay with babysitting Atwoods. Let me put it like that. Tariq is okay with hopping on and babysitting Atwoods. He's okay with having to IGL every second of every wipe. He's okay with literally having Robin on his side. Except imagine if Robin had like a lobotomy. I'm not. I'm sorry. When I get on a team, I want my teammate or teammates to be equals. I don't want to have to lead them around. I don't want to have to supervise. I don't want to have to micromanage. I don't want to have to do this and that, especially for a quote 2,000-hour player. I just don't want to do that. I want my teammate to pull their weight. I want my teammate to, play like the amount of hours that they allegedly have. And I feel like that's not unfair or wrong of me. I don't feel like that's wrong of me. Now, am I to the extent of Tariq, where Tariq doesn't mind at all? No, I'm not. I'm just gonna be real. I'm not. I don't have the patience for that. I don't have the time for that, and I especially do not have the mental fortitude for that. But I shouldn't be required to, and I think it's unfair for Atwoods to act like there's something wrong with me just because I don't want to babysit him all the time. And because I get annoyed with him and fed up with him because he makes mistake after mistake after mistake over and over and is okay with it. I don't think that that's okay. Anyways, you're rude as fuck sometimes. No. Sometimes is true, but rude AF? I don't know. I definitely come off as rude sometimes. A lot of times accidentally because I don't know. My emotional quotient isn't very high. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes things just go like straight over my head. But anyways though, I don't know about rude AF. AF is like I don't know. I guess I'm nitpicking here. Anyway, let's just agree with it. No, I guess I was in the wrong here. I can be rude sometimes. I'm not gonna lie, but it's not really undeserving. Like I'm not rude to my grandpa. My grandpa doesn't do anything for me to ever be rude to him. I'm not rude to Tariq. Tariq never does anything for me to be rude to him. I'm not rude to my woman. My woman never does anything for me to be rude to her. I'm not rude to strangers. They're a stranger. What am I doing? What have they done for me to be rude to them? Like when you have mistakes, repeated mistakes, furthermore, and that really irks me when you have new mistakes, new and old, stacking up like printer paper. Yes, I'm going to be rude to you sometimes because the leniency is gone. And I feel like that's fair. I feel like anybody would do that with anybody. I don't know. I haven't seen. Actually, that's not true. Tariq did it one time. Not going to talk about it. Not at liberty to talk about it. I'm just going to say one time, Tariq was very annoyed with Atwoods. If he watches this, he may know what I'm talking about. If he doesn't, it's whatever. Anyways, giving me hella attitude like you're 12. Yeah. Okay, so this is where he starts to spiral into a lower life form. He goes from asshole to brain dead asshole homunculus. and you'll see in a little bit what I'm talking about here when he fully converts. So giving hella attitude like you're 12. Okay, we can just move on. I may be perceptible as rude, I guess, and this is true, unfortunately. That's why I have such a low emotional quotient at times. I may be perceptible as rude, I guess, but that's not my fault. I don't realize I'm being rude a lot of the times because I'm autistic and it's hard for me to realize things like that. Very true. I have issues with it. Tariq himself, I become sarcastic sometimes. Obviously, who doesn't become sarcastic from time to time? But one day he said, "Dude, I can never tell when you're being sarcastic. It's so hard to tell when you're being sarcastic." And I just kind of laughed it off at the time. But then I was thinking about it like a day later or something, maybe later that night or something. But I was thinking about it later on, and I was like, "Damn, I never realized that I was so similar with my baseline and my sarcasticness." I just never put the two and two together because I just didn't have the outside perspective, which again, the outside perspective I lack for this. Like I don't realize that I'm being rude sometimes, and I have told them that I am autistic before. And anyways, I shouldn't expect them to remember it. You know, it's not really their job to accommodate me. But again, that's a two-way street. It's not my job to accommodate Atwoods. I don't even understand. I'm rude as fuck sometimes. It doesn't make any sense. At the time, I didn't understand. I've thought about it now. I can tell that, I may not have the perspective, or like, honestly, I just get fed up with this guy and I'm just done. So, sure, I can be rude, quote, AF sometimes. Anytime you tweak out on me, he'd talk to me after and say, "Sorry, man, I don't know what his problem is," like multiple times. That's because Tariq's a good guy and he doesn't want to break it to you. Let me not put it like that. Maybe that's not entirely true. I don't personally know. I can't speak on Tariq's behalf. Tariq's a good guy, just in general. I've already glazed enough. Yeah, he's really just apologizing on my behalf because he's a good guy. That's just the guy that he is. Because I just can't sometimes, and I shouldn't be expected to be able to can all the time. Especially when, again, I'm going to come back to this analogy, when the repeated mistakes stack up like printer paper. And this guy's not like disabled or anything. Like, this is a grown man making 150K a year at some like medical firm or something. He has like some crazy high up job. He's making like 150, and this is allegedly, this is what he said. And keep in mind, he also said that he has 2K hours, allegedly 2K hours. But anyways, if this guy is telling the truth about everything, which questionable, but if he is, this is a man making 150K a year at a medical firm. So I don't I don't get how these repeated mistakes are happening when you're supposed to have a very high IQ at the baseline because of the job that you have, because of the field that you're in, because of the career that you've built for yourself. Where is the IQ to back that up? Why are these repeated mistakes happening? It just doesn't make sense to me. And that's another thing that irks me. Okay, so you say you have this life and you're doing these things and stuff like that, but then you keep doing this and this and this and this and this, and it's like, okay, well, those two don't match up, right? So it's frustrating. I hope you can understand how that's frustrating. Anyways, though, anytime you tweak out on me, he'd talk to me after and say, "Sorry, man, I don't know what his problem is." I'm sure Tariq's not an idiot, right? I'm sure Tariq isn't oblivious as to why I get fed up with Atwoods, right? But he's just apologizing because he's a good guy, and that's not how he would go about it. And again, sometimes I just can't. And I feel like it would be unfair for me to be expected to always be able to can. That just doesn't make sense. I try to can, quote, can, as much as I can, but sometimes I just can't. That's how everybody is. And like multiple times. Yes, I have gotten fed up with this guy multiple times in the past. Mistake after mistake, it just ruining my mental. Just, oh my god, you're taking up a spot on the team, but you're doing nothing. We're carrying you. We're leading you around like a dog. You're not self-sufficient. You're consuming team resources. You're getting nothing done. You have no intuition. You have no personal direction. You cannot lead yourself and support the team. You do not contribute to the team. And it's like that with this guy constantly. So, yes, I have tweaked out on this guy a couple times because he just refuses to be a participator. He's that kid that you get on your team in kickball that kicks the ball one time, it gets caught, and then he gets mad and goes and sits down in like a corner of the field because it didn't go his way. Not like literally because it didn't go his way, but the kid would always, get mad and go sit in a corner of the field because it didn't go his way and stuff. No, Atwoods is just like, he's not a participator. And it's not because of anger. Like, I guess that wasn't a proper analogy. It's not like because of anger, like because of the hypothetical kid in kickball. It's just in general he's not a participator. It's like an F student. Like, he just doesn't care. You know, he just doesn't care. He's an F student in Rust. I know it sounds like a loser thing to say, but that's a much better analogy. He's an F student. Anyways, I respond to this with, "Oh, that's because you're dog shit, and it pisses me off because you're okay with being bad at the game." Let me circle back to this. Multiple times he has said, "I don't take this game that seriously." Okay, bro, so why are you insisting that you play with us on a highly competitive open world looter shooter with a ruthless backstabbing community? I mean, if you're not taking the game that serious, at least you could, not throw logic out the door with your seriousness. He's treating it like they're a duo. They're a package deal. Seriousness and logic are not a package deal. You cannot be serious and still use logic, still not make the same mistake over and over again to the extent of where it's perceptively intentional. Logic and seriousness are not a package deal. How does that make sense? Buddy, let's not even get into it. Let's not even get to it. I've already said it enough. It's really frustrating in reference to this. It's really frustrating. Or, oh, he said, how does that not make sense? My apologies. How does that not make sense? That's in reference to this. Oh, wait, no. It's in reference to this. Okay, so again here, he's right here on saying this. I didn't have time to think about it at the time. We were in the middle of a typing argument. But like I said previously, I can be rude at times, or when I'm not being rude or not meaning to be rude, I am easily perceptible as rude. My lady has pointed that out to me a couple times. I don't mean it. She understands because, she's my woman and she's loving, but I don't mean it. Genuinely, I do not mean it. It just happens. Anyways, though, so how does that not make sense? It does. It does. My mistake in the moment. Anyways, though, it's really frustrating in reference to this. Dog shit. Intentionally, I feel. And it pisses me off because he's okay with being bad. He's okay with being bad. This, oh my god, it's so frustrating because every single time he makes a mistake, not every single time, but sometimes when he makes a mistake and stuff like that, he's like, I just don't take this game seriously. And sometimes he turns it into a personal attack for no reason. He'll go, "Sorry, man, sorry I don't take this game seriously like you do." What? I'm gonna circle back to this. Seriousness and logic are not a package deal. Making the same mistake over and over again is not a lapse of seriousness, it's a lapse of logic. I meant to say lack. It's not a lack of seriousness, it's a lack of logic. Those two are not a package deal. You can throw seriousness out and keep logic. You taking a video game that seriously is the frustrating part. What is wrong with me taking a video game seriously? How does me taking a video game seriously impact you negatively? I'm carrying the team. Or duo carrying if Tariq is on. Or second carrying if Tariq was on way before me and he's already gotten way more shit on. Anyways, though, what I'm trying to say is I'm always doing more than him. Not to sound like an asshole, not to sound cocky, not to sound entitled, genuinely. From the last quarter year or so that I've been playing with this guy, I am always doing more than him. I'm always contributing more. I'm always doing more, no matter what it is. Farming, PvPing, monument running, scrap farming. I'm always doing more. Base building, base neatness, chest organization, electricity, industrial. Actually, Tariq's the industrial guy, and Tariq does electricity 70% of the time, but we have like the same electricity level of skill. But anyways, though, that's not really about Tariq. Tariq does more than me sometimes. We kind of trade back and forth on who does more. Sometimes he carries in a wipe, sometimes I carry in a wipe, but it's really just a matter of opportunity. Sometimes Tariq finds more opportunities, sometimes I find more opportunities. Atwoods will find an opportunity and fucking yeet that shit like Kobe's helicopter, and it will crash and burn and be gone. Dead. Anyways, though, how is me taking the game seriously frustrating? How is me taking the game seriously and making it to where we have a better base, we have more resources, we have more this, we have more that, we have organized chess, we have a good base layout? How is that frustrating? I don't understand how that's frustrating. Like you say all the time, I don't take this game seriously, and then you do basically nothing the entire time we play besides role player shit and stuff. That it's really frustrating. It's really frustrating that he does this. And then first of all, he doesn't deny it, but then he says you did the same shit weeks before you left. He's talking about one wipe where I built an entire cave base. Sorry, he somebody else built a cave. Atwoods. That was the first time that Atwoods built a base. He built one base and it was the cave base. I think that was the Atwoods base. Yeah, it was. He built one base and it was the cave base. I don't think I can't actively recall if Atwoods has ever built something else. Anyways, though, hold on. Am I still recording? Oh my god, imagine I'm not recording. Okay, cool. I'm still recording. Anyways, though, so he built one base, and it was the cave base, and it was a base. Let's just leave it at that. I'm not really trying to insult anything right now or anything. It was a base. Um. Anyways, though, so I stayed up all night. I farmed like 230,000 stone on a vanilla. On a vanilla. I built a massive compound. I TC'd it. Eventually, we ended up getting griefed, and so I just stopped playing the server because I'm just not trying to fix the grief. Um. Anyways, though, so I mined like a fifth of a million stone solo. I maybe like 50K or so was from Tariq actually. Now that I recall properly, I don't remember Atwoods doing, and that's not even like biased memory or anything. Like I'm being for real. I don't remember Atwoods doing anything. Maybe he gave me like 10K stone total or something. That's being generous. I don't remember if. Anyways, though, that doesn't really matter much. Um, you did the same shit weeks before you left. One wipe, one time, I built a massive compound and put a pool down. I put a pool down and built a diving board and chilled at the pool while I scrolled on my phone. Because we were already at the top. We had AKs, tier 3, full metal kits, a massive compound, a cave base. And at the time, I think we had like 90K sulfur or something. I chilled at the pool, bro, because we had nothing else to do. That's what he's talking about for me doing, quote, role player shit. What I'm saying here is this guy will load in and spend 45 minutes rock fighting. I mean, this guy will walk around Outpost going, "Howdy." Not really. That's an exaggerate. That's never happened. I'm just like, I'm trying to like put you into perspective. Like this guy's like doing role player shit a lot. But the thing is, he's not an intentional role player. He's not like, oh, I want to go play PvE. He's not like, oh, I want to build this, I want to build that, and like role play. No, he's just like when I originally said this, and I still mean it now. I mean like very often he has the skill level of a role player, and I just don't rock with that. It's just not fair for everybody else on the team, especially for having quote 2,000 hours. But anyways, tweaked out because I don't play the game the way you want. Not true. Play however the fuck you want. to an extent, Tariq plays how he wants. I don't tell Tariq how to play. And Tariq, a lot of the times, does not play how I would play. That's why he's so good at cargo. That's why he's so forward on electricity. I mean, like, this guy is just like on it. Like, Tariq does not play how I would want to play. Yet I get along fine with Tariq. It's not. I'm not tweaking out, quote tweaking out, because I don't play the game the way he doesn't play the game the way that I want. No, I'm annoyed. I'm genuinely bothered that you allegedly, supposedly, have a $150,000 salary at a medical firm with allegedly 2,000 hours on the game, and you're making repeated mistakes. And it's not even like two or three in a 10-hour session. No, like he's made. I haven't even said this yet. Maybe I have. I don't remember. It's not like he's making two or three in a 10-hour session. He's making like 8 mistakes, repeated mistakes that he's made before in like an hour. Like 8+ mistakes in an hour. Like every few minutes he'll make a mistake. And it's like, dude, how are we not learning here? How are we allegedly making 150K a year and 2K hours on the game but making these mistakes over and over again? Like you're being a burden, man. You are literally, definitively being a burden. Intentionally, I feel, because there's no way somebody of his, quote, intellectual caliber, if he actually has the job that he has, should be doing that. I just don't. That should not be possible. It just shouldn't. Anyways, though, if I'm so miserable to play with, why the fuck you hitting me up multiple times after you moved? I never said he was miserable to play with. He's an. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna agree with him here. I never said that. I don't think. I don't recall. Maybe I'm false here. But I'm just gonna say I don't recall. I don't remember me saying that he's miserable to play with. But I'm going to agree with him here. It is most of the time a miserable experience playing with this guy. And again, I feel like at this point it's my fault for being friends with this guy. Quote friends. Nah, I would say friends. We were definitely friends. I wouldn't put that in quotes. No, we were friends. Like we would shoot the shit and stuff. But just we're about to get to the bad part to where like I'm not going to be friends with this guy anymore. And if I get down to it and it turns out he deleted it, I have screenshots. So it's all right. Um, Tweaked out because I don't play the game that you want. Cap. If I'm so miserable to play with, why the fuck you hitting me up multiple times after you moved? Because I hadn't talked to you in a long time. Because I didn't have any internet for like 2 weeks because I moved from California to Oklahoma. Because my PC wasn't set up. Because like I'm trying to play games with a friend. Like I don't really care how good they are at that point. I'm just trying to play. Lapse of judgment on my part. Atwoods whittled me down like he usually does with repeated mistake after repeated mistake from someone that's supposed to have a high caliber of intelligence. Anyways, though, that's because I was just trying to play with a friend. You taking a video game that seriously is the frustrating part. Sorry, I don't want to hop around and lead you around like a dog. Sorry, I get frustrated when you're not self-sufficient. Dude, that's why I'm different with Tariq. He's not constantly annoying and actually carries his own weight. This is fair. It might be different in somebody else's eyes, but this is fair. Are we all humans? Yes, absolutely. But I don't want to hop on and IGL every second, micromanage, like go out of my way to not trust you and do everything myself because I know you can't deliver through your consistently low performance. I don't want to hop on and do that, and I feel like that's fair for me to not want to hop on and do that. Anyways, I literally have to babysit you every time we play. True. And you play like an idiot. True. It's a game. Notice how he's not denying anything. This is an important detail. He's not denying anything. He says nothing about anything that I ever say um about his ability to play the game with quote 2K hours. Uh he doesn't deny getting led around like a dog. He does. He doesn't deny not being self-sufficient. He isn't. He doesn't deny being constantly annoying and not carrying his own weight. He doesn't. You want to know why? It's true, and he knows it's true. And then I say, I cannot depend on you at all because I can't. Because he's intentionally bad at the game. Like you treat it like it's life or death. No, I don't. I just play competitively on a highly competitive open world looter shooter. No fucking shit, I play competitively on that type of game. The fuck are you supposed to do? Play like you? Like, no. Anyways, though. Here's when I say it: a highly competitive first person open world looter shooter. A game is only as competitive as you make it. You're an idiot. That's all I have to say about that. I'm going to say more, but that's all I have to say about this. You're an idiot. A game is only as competitive as you make it. You're stupid. This is so retarded. I actually think, in hindsight now, this is rage bait. There's no way this isn't rage bait. You cannot be serious. You cannot genuinely hop on Rust and genuinely believe this statement after putting 2,000 hours into it. You can't. You cannot believe that statement. That has to be rage bait. Which also means that since he's potentially switching to rage bait in the middle of a text argument, that the logical side of his argument is crumbling because he doesn't have anything to go with anymore. It's all been disproven. It's all been thrown out the door. It's all been discredited. He doesn't have anything to go with anymore, which is why I believe this may or may not be rage bait. Because there's no way after putting in, quote, 2,000 hours that you actually believe this. You're an idiot. That's all I had to say. I wanted to say more, so I did, but this is all I had to say to that. I just like to relax and play. You don't like it, tough shit. I don't care if you're relaxed. It's good if you're relaxed. That influences a positive social aspect in a team game. It's a good thing that you're relaxed. I don't care that you're relaxed and playing. That's good. If anything, I do care in a positive way that you're relaxed while playing. What I don't care about is the lapse of judgment and logic for someone that's supposed to have a high intellectual quotient. That's not and that's not unfair of me to get annoyed or pissed off at that. You don't like it, tough shit. First of all, pointless defensiveness in terms of this, because I don't have a problem with this. And also, getting defensive in an argument on something that you don't need to be getting defensive on is usually a sign of you're backed into a corner and you're wrong. Not a psychologist, but I like to read articles. I may not be recalling that proper information properly. That may be wrong, but as far as I can recall, if you're defensive about pointless things in an argument, it's because you don't have legitimate strings to grasp at, because the logical side of your argument has been, for lack of a better word, debunked. So you're just grasping at thin air. Um, Anyways, Rust is one of the most competitive games in existence. True, true. One of, not the most competitive game in existence. I feel like that goes to Tarkov. Um, that game is just way too knowledgeable. You have to be so smart to play Tarkov effectively. Anybody can just log on, but to play Tarkov effectively, you have to be so incredibly smart to play that game effectively. Or maybe you know what? I would like to play. I would like to say chess, but I don't think chess is as hard as Tarkov. There's no way chess is harder than Tarkov. But anyways, Rust is one of the most competitive games in existence. True. So this, once again, him saying that, you're an idiot. You don't like it, tough shit. What? You're tripping because he was defensive about something that was pointless. Um, Rust is one of the most competitive games in existence. Not for me, it ain't. Not broken a sweat. Lots of sweats were broken when I left after you flipped on me. Hello. What do you mean you haven't broken a sweat? And he's about to start sweating a lot more because very soon this is where the personal attacks come in. I've never seen someone take a video game. Oh, I've never seen someone take a video game so seriously. Okay. Lots of souls were broken when I left after you flipped on me. So many, you hopped in my DMs to bitch. True. Okay. So, again, I don't know why taking a game seriously, especially a highly competitive first-person open-world looter shooter, is bad. I don't know why that's bad. It's because you were rude. You're actually lame. And that was his response to this. Keep in mind, it was one word to make him flip. Hey, do you have any food? We spawned 10 minutes ago. He hasn't seen me touch a food crate. No. Because it was a dumbass question. So I went, no. And he went, the fuck is your problem? Are you trying to make me mad? Like he's my dad or something. Not to say that I have dad issues or anything, but that just seems like a very socially dominant perspective on a very emotionally forward response to a dumbass question. That's a very dominant take. Like you're better than I am, or I'm supposed to treat you special because of who you are. Are you trying to piss me off? Like I give a fuck if I piss you off or not. Yeah, sorry I'm not licking your toe jam, King Tut. Jesus. Anyways, though, you're actually lame. Okay. I have 2,000 hours in Rust, 3,000 in Rainbow Six Siege, probably 5,000 in Minecraft, another 5,000 in Roblox from when I was a kid. I have a little over 3,000 in Apex Legends. I have 700 hours in CS:GO. CS2, sorry. I know I'm lame. I know. Major breakthrough here, Atwoods. Major breakthrough. Anyways, so this, again, is in reference to the initial problem. No, me saying that. You asked me some dumbass question. Hey, do you have any food? After making a bunch of mistakes. So I responded like you were a dumbass. No. Why would I have food? No. So I held you accountable in my response with no. With your dumbass question. Hey, do you have any food? The fuck would I have food for? Hello, think. Think, buddy. You make 150K a year in a medical firm. You're supposed to have a naturally high IQ in that position. You have not seen me touch a medical crate. Why would I have food? Think. Jesus. And if I did, we just spawned in. I would have ate it. You're not entitled to the food that I find. Especially when you don't pull your own weight. I'm sorry. You could be starving, and I could be at 4.99 hunger. If I find a fucking loaf of bread, I'm eating it for the one hunger because you don't pull your own weight. You're just going to do something that gets you killed anyways. It would be a waste. I would literally use a loaf of bread for hydration before I gave the loaf of bread to him while he's starving to death in game. Because he doesn't pull his own weight. It's not worth it for me to not look out for myself. And I know that that's entitled. I know it's this. I know it's that. But when you consistently make repeated, constant, inexcusable, perceptively intentional mistakes, I'm sorry, but I'm not. I'm looking out for me because you've proven that I should not depend on you. And if I should not depend on you, why should I feed you? Literally, why should I feed you? In game, obviously. Like what? So this is in response to this. Sorry, responding like you were a dumbass. You didn't. You didn't. Sorry, I held you accountable in response. You didn't. What? That doesn't even make sense. I would understand if they say I didn't. In response to you asked me some dumbass question. I didn't. Trying to defend himself. But what that doesn't make sense, at least to me. Maybe I'm blind, but logically. But you left like a pussy as soon as I called you out. Called me out? Here was the conversation. I'll say it again. Hey man, do you have any food? No. What the fuck is your problem? Are you trying to piss me off? Doo-doo. Hung up on him. I don't know if that's a call out. I think that's just you tweaking, honestly. Sorry. Nah, I left because I'm not trying to play with a living, breathing trash can that's wasting my time and mental. Rude here. Very easily. But I think we've passed the barrier of what I should and shouldn't say here. Anyways, though, you're a living, breathing trash can that's wasting my time and mental. I mean, Rust is a time-consuming game. If I can't count on you, and I make the mistake of depending on you, and most of the time things are lost. Time is lost. Mental, repeated mistakes over and over, stacking up like printer paper. I mean, it's just fuck. You know. I'm getting mentally exhausted just talking about this. I'll gain my pet back here in a second. Actually, let me sip my Owala water bottle that my fiance got me. Shout out my fiance. I love her to death. Anyways, you're playing a video game. You wait, what? You need the grow up. Typo. Not really gonna point it out. It's just a typo. I'm not one of those people that goes, you did a typo. You're a dumbass. I don't really care. Anyways, you're playing a video game. You need, sorry, you need to grow up. So you're playing a video game. You need to grow up. I see two logical inferences here. He's saying that I need to grow up because I'm playing a video game, but he's also playing a video game, so that can't be it, right? Because he wouldn't insult himself. So he's saying that I need to grow up separately from you're playing a video game. He's saying you're playing a video game, which I don't know what that. Because I'm not trying to play with a living, breathing trash can that's wasting my time and mental. You're playing a video game. No shit. I don't know. You need to grow up. Probably because I said this. Okay. But you think like this, and you said this like we're in high school, and I need to grow up. Okay. And instead of causing conflict, when you just opened up and started acting like a fuckhead, I just left. Instead of causing conflict and saying something to you about it and starting an argument, no, I just left. And again, I shouldn't have even entertained this. That was a lapse in judgment, majorly on my behalf. Social aspects can only go so far in competitive games when you're constantly responsible for a fuck up or saying stupid shit unironically. It all stacks up. His response here is stupid shit like what, lol. First of all, he doesn't deny it. This is a very big tell with Atwoods. He doesn't deny it. When I say things like this, he doesn't deny it. I feel like it's because he knows it's true. He doesn't deny it. He doesn't have a rebuttal. He doesn't have something to counteract what I'm saying because he knows he can't counter it because he knows it's true. And anyways, just to nitpick at it, I suppose he goes, stupid shit like what? You'll see my response here in a second. It's this, then it's that, then it's another thing, then this again, then that again. Bro, you clearly have no friends being on 24/7. You're lame as fuck. Okay, here we go. This is where the argument starts to crumble on his behalf. Every point, every personal perspective point that he has been logically disassembled. He has no basis for it. He has no reasoning. It's all crumbled like a fucking cookie. A very dry one. So now, instead of transitioning into logical perspectives and point of views and reasons and rebuttals, now he's going to personal attacks because he's ran out. He's ran out. Personal attack. Personal attack. Personal attack. Because he's ran out. At this point, he's just trying to argue. Bro, you clearly have no friends being online 24/7, like you're lame as fuck. Okay. I was just offline for 2 weeks. But when I am on, yes, I like video games. I started playing video games in kindergarten. I had a DS. And then I started playing games on the Xbox 360. My first ever game on the Xbox 360 that I can remember was Call of Duty Black Ops 1. So on and so forth until today. I've been playing video games my whole life. I like playing video games. Me being online isn't a bad thing. I'm not trying to self-glaze here or anything, but in modern day, I feel like online has so many different definitions. Like, am I online in terms of I'm playing games a lot? Yes. But I am not online in terms of my phone usage. Sorry if never mind, actually. Um, but I am not online in terms of my phone usage. Um, like, I don't have Instagram. I don't have Facebook. I don't have this. I don't have that. I don't use social media. I have like YouTube, and like I'm not gonna lie, I pay for YouTube Premium. Actually, it's the YouTube Premium student bundle. It's $8.99 a month for YouTube Premium and YouTube Music Premium, and I mainly have that just to listen to music. But because I really like my music. I'm not gonna lie. I listen to a lot of music. But I'm not chronically on my phone. You know, like it's not OCD. You know, with my onlinedness. I just play games. I just like playing games. I like uploading YouTube videos. I like being goofy. I like being silly. I like winning. Who doesn't like winning? If you don't care that you lose, that's when you're officially a loser. You can care. You cannot be a loser when you lose if you care that you're losing. Now, I'm not trying to be like inspirational or anything, but just if you care that you're losing when you're losing, then you're not a loser. You only become a loser in my eyes once you stop caring that you're losing. So, anyways, mini side tangent aside, I like winning. I'm not a loser. I'm not playing competitive games just to lose. Unlike Atwoods, who doesn't care if he loses, he's just doing it to waste his time or something. I don't know. Quote 2,000 hours. Um, Whatever. Dude, you fucking suck at the game, dude. You're dog shit. Sorry, literally everything. Okay, sorry. This is in response to this stupid shit like what, lol. Dude, you fucking suck at the game, dude. You're dog shit. Literally everything. There is no like what. The what in that is you, dude. Stupid shit like what? He's the stupid shit. Anyways, though, you wouldn't talk to someone like that IRL is just disrespectful. Okay, buddy. Trying to pull the. You wouldn't talk to me like that, IRL, buddy. You know what they called me? My nickname in high school was Basher, because I used to bash people's heads into lockers. Yeah. And I walked one kid to class once and protected him. He called me the Guardian ever since. Also, I'm a Navy SEAL with 397 unconfirmed kills. You wouldn't talk to someone like that, IRL. It's just disrespectful. First of all, bro, we're on Discord. Second of all, bro, in reference to something you said earlier, we're playing video games. Why are you even bringing up, quote, IRL? And it's just disrespectful. Okay, what about you refusing to improve yourself or use logic? What about you intentionally being a liability? What about you wasting people's time, mental, and resources? What about you intentionally making mistakes over and over again, repeated mistakes? To the degree that this guy is making mistakes, it cannot be on accident. It is intentional. And his excuse is, oh, I just don't take games seriously. No, you just enjoy fucking up, it seems. You just enjoy fucking up. That's what it seems. Because it's not like this guy's an idiot if he's actually making 150K a year at a medical firm. Anyways. Oh no, I suck at a video game. First of all, doesn't deny it, actually agrees with me. Second of all, instead of having a reply or a rebuttal, he just mocks me. Okay, again, logic is out the door. Bro, you clearly have no friends being online 24/7. Like, okay, and now it's personal attacks when I'm unbothered by you not liking me. I don't care? Okay, buddy. You seem to care a lot. You literally said I'm an idiot. Okay? Yes, I said you're an idiot. Why? 'Cause you act like an idiot. I feel like only an idiot wouldn't realize that. You are. You are an idiot. So you insulted me first. And this is where I reference his job, and he doesn't say anything about it. Probably because he was lying. I feel like since this is a personal aspect of his life, because keep in mind he's first, second, third, and fourth personal attack here, and honestly, I'm just so surprised at his dumbassery that I had to go with something personal here. You feel me? I had to go with that seven elixir card here. I'm surprised you have the job you have. God forbid your boss makes you take an IQ test. Um, yeah, God forbid, genuinely, this guy's life would crumble if his boss made him take an IQ test. Honestly, if he's actually making 150 a year at a medical firm. Sorry, I'm sick right now. That's why you keep hearing me make noises like with my nose and mouth and stuff. I apologize. Genuinely, God forbid. I honestly, I hope, right? Because this is just like some dumb internet argument, right? So like obviously I don't want his personal life and finances to fucking crumble, right? But like if he takes an IQ, if his boss makes him take an IQ test, if I was his boss, I would fire him. If he's working at a medical firm making 150 a year, no way this guy is testing at triple digits. There's no way this guy's testing as triple digits. Like, I mean, max IQ 95. That's my guess. Max IQ 95. There's no way. Anyways, though, went for the personal attack here because he did 4 personal attacks first. Um, anyways, though, and my response to this is, oh, sorry. I'm not surprised you're living with your grandpa like a bum. Womp womp. First of all, I'm 20 years old. Second of all, my grandpa implored me to live here. Third of all, the economy in America is not the best. Fourth of all, not all of us are lucky dumbasses like you making 150 a year at a medical firm with half a brain. Fifth of all, I love my grandpa, and I would like to spend as much time with him as I possibly can. Family is seemingly something that Atwoods doesn't register as important here. Sixth of all, another personal attack because he's logically crumbled. Seventh of all, I mean, attacking a living situation out of all things, right, is kind of like people control their living situations as much as they can, right? Like I'm young, like I don't have a degree yet. I'm not in a financial position to where I'm making enough money to be able to live stably, right? So I'm living with a family member. And I feel like a lot in America can relate to that. People who are 30, 45, some people are 60 and can relate to that statement. I am not in a financial position to be living independently. I'm just not. And plus, I'm only 20. I have time to get a degree, to get this, to get that. And then he hits me with a womp womp. So we got a personal attack with a basically an 8-letter version of fuck you. Right? Hits me with a womp womp. Okay. Whatever. So we're going with another personal attack because you have no logical basis for your side of the argument anymore. So you insulted me first. No, I didn't. You giving me shit for a one-word response to a dumbass question was the first insult. This may not intentionally be an insult, but I feel like it is an insult nonetheless. Hey man, do you have any food? No. The fuck is wrong with you? Are you trying to piss me off? I mean, just the sense of entitlement in that response. From 0 to 100. Acting like are you trying to piss me off? Like he's King Tut. I mean, that is insulting. It just is. Go get a life. Another personal attack because he has no logical structure. Yep, personal attacks because I'm unbothered and accurately defending myself. Typical argument L comeback. Misspelled comeback here. Not really. This doesn't work. This doesn't logically work. You can't just be like, no. And then not have a rebuttal, not have some sort of logical basis as to why it's no. You can't just say not really. It has no structure. It has no depth. It's just a skeleton. It has no meat and potatoes, for lack of a better analogy. So this is out the door. I don't even know why I entertained this. This is my moment of clarity because this all happened within a few minutes, right? Because he low key he got me, right, because he hit up my DMs after I left because I just wasn't trying to start anything, and then continued to go off of my DMs, and then I'm sorry, I gave in. But this is just a couple minutes after this started, and I'm like, I don't even know why I entertained this. I'm having a moment of clarity here. I know that I'm an adult. I know that I shouldn't be doing this. I don't even know why I entertained this. You better at Rust. I'm better at life. LOL. Okay, so we got another personal attack here. First of all, if this is what you call being good at life, Atwoods, I would rather be better at Rust. If this is what it means to be better at life, any day of the week, any time, any second, any time of the year, any life, any continent, I'm picking being better at Rust. I could not even have access to Rust, and I would pick being better at Rust if this is what being better at life means. I knew you were a piece of shit waiting to say some personal stuff like that because I just had a feeling. I just had a feeling, and his logical structure completely crumbled out the window, and he just resorted to personal attacks. He had no rebuttals, no basis of logic, nothing. Bye. Like we're in fucking middle school. Okay. I'd rather be better at Rust. Again, if this is what being good at life is like, I'd rather be good at Rust. You started with the insults, clearly. No, I didn't. Kappa, get a life. Another personal insult. And then I'm just like, okay, whatever. And I give him one of these. Uh-huh, 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 uh-huh. And then I give him one of these. I like this one. I like responding to this one. And then I give him one of these. Nobody cares. Watch this capybara cruise, though. And then I give him one of these to show him that, I'm really mad and frustrated with the situation. And then, did you block me? In red. I don't know if he has me blocked now. Penis. No, let's not do that. Let's go into gifts here. Okay. So he still has me blocked, but for some reason I can see. Oh, that's strange. I thought maybe it was gifts only. Okay, he still has me blocked, but for some reason I can see this. Maybe because we're not friends. Friend request failed. Okay, so then it's just bugged and showing me that he's online. Whatever. Anyways, though, I mean, I don't exactly. I don't exactly know what to make of all this. I don't know. I just don't know. This is the first Aim Train 360 channel drama. I hope you guys enjoyed. You let me know your thoughts in the comments if you're on my side or Atwoods' side. Um, and to like the 13 people that are gonna watch this because this video is long as shit. I hope you have a good day. Thank you. Um, damn, 1 hour and 17 minutes. Whatever. I'm gonna title this the Atwoods Files.